Just getting ready for Arkansas. Very, very talented team. Very, very good team. Well-coached team. Shoot a bunch of threes. They've had a bunch of different guys step up. Davis stepped up in their last game, 20 points, 6 assists, 7 rebounds, 2 steals. Their freshman Williams is playing really well, the big kid. Vanover's a tough matchup for us. We don't really play that big, and so Vanover will be a tough matchup. Jackson's playing great. Tate's a big-time distributor and scorer. Desi Seals is their engine, and we've had real problems with guards like Sills. We had a problem with Wheeler, and Sills can obviously shoot it a lot better than Wheeler, but a similar type speed and being able to get their team going. Note is tremendous scorer off the bench. They're 6-man, play some point guard for them. So be a big challenge for us. We won't have Sharif. Cam will be a game time decision. He did a little bit of shooting this morning. We'll see what he can do this afternoon when we go through a workout and practice, and then we'll see how he feels tomorrow. So it'll be a game time decision.
Bob, if you want to get us started.
Okay, I appreciate you guys letting me do it. Will, you mentioned everybody with Moses Moody. I'm sure you don't want to tick him off.
No, he is. That wasn't by design. That was by accident. I mean, he's shooting over 40% from three, shooting 45% from three in the half court, 41% on transition threes. He's one of the best freshmen in the conference and best freshmen in the entire country. So he's been playing tremendously well. He's been shooting the ball extremely well. And then the other guy I didn't mention who killed us last year was Henderson. I know he hasn't played much, but they're kind of down in numbers a little bit. Henderson had 10 and 6 on us at Arkansas last year. I don't know if you remember that, Bob, but he really hurt us and we couldn't score around him in the lane. He blocked and altered a bunch of shots, and so we're concerned about him as well. I think that's all 9 scholarship players I just went through, but they've got a versatile, athletic team, and Coach Musselman puts them in good positions offensively and defensively. So they'll have a great defensive game plan. What they did to Tennessee with weakening them and making them go with their right hand was impressive, and they always have some curveballs for you with their preparation.
And then you guys played so well without Cam at Ole Miss. Obviously, I know you'd rather have him, but how good did that make you feel? And Eric said you guys really have, kind of Cam, you guys have 4 stars, what he called star players, star scorers. So what do you think of how you guys beat Ole Miss on the road like that, on short prep, and just what do you think about Eric saying you guys got a lot of stars you can go to?
Yeah, we've got a lot of different options. Eric Gaines stepped up for us on the road at Ole Miss, but we'll see. We haven't played well back to back all year. We've just been up and down like a roller coaster almost. So, we've got to have a little bit more consistency. Actually, a lot more consistency. We got to be able to put things together back to back and do things. Do things well in back-to-back days. So we haven't shown that we can do that yet. Hopefully we can play well tomorrow against a really good Arkansas team. But yeah, we've got 4 prolific scorers. They're very, very talented players, and we try to give them space and give them matchups and let them go to work.
Yeah, I got a couple more, but I'll hand it back over. I don't want to hurt the beat guys.
You're good, Bob. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, don't even get mad at me, but I know you guys lead the league in free throw percentage, and I think you and Arkansas are both in the top 3 with Alabama for makes and attempts. Just how big a part of a game is that? And I know you guys kind of got hosed here last year with the free throws.
Well, I remember Henderson blocking everything and dunking on us, but on top of Jones hitting threes and getting fouled on threes. But I think all 3 teams are similar, and it's a hard thing to pull off And we haven't. This is the first year we've been able to do both. But all three teams are high-volume three-point shooting teams as well. And it's very difficult to be a high-volume three-point shooting team and be a high-volume free throw rate team. I mean, that's what you want to be from an efficiency standpoint. But I think Arkansas only takes 22% two-point jumpers, two-point shots out of the paint, which is pretty good. And so, we getting to the free throw line is a staple of having a good offense, and I think that's why you'd have to, better than me, but I know Arkansas and us are the top two scoring offenses, and I got to imagine Alabama's in the top 3 or 4 in the league. And so when you can get to the free throw line, that's a huge advantage.
Hey, they lost Justin Smith, but this is their third game without him, or maybe it'll be their fourth. I guess it'll be their fourth. They figured it out against Georgia. You guys probably wore them out, and that overtime game, they didn't have much left in their tank for Arkansas. But what have you thought about how they've?
Well, I think since Smith's been out, I think Williams has been playing 17 minutes a game, the freshman from Arkansas there. And to me, he looks like he gets better every day. To me, every game when you pop in the tape, I've watched quite a few of their games, some of their non-conference games and all their conference games. And when you pop in the tape, every game he gets better. And so sometimes when guys go down, and Smith is a tremendous, tremendous player, kind of the, ferocious rebounder, did a lot of really good things for him. And it sounds like he'll be back pretty soon as well. But, it opens up opportunities for other guys, and Williams is taken full advantage of that opportunity, it looks like to me.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Hey, Will, you talked last night at the show a little bit about transition defense. It was poor, I guess, last week against Georgia. Is this almost like could be a track meet kind of game with the two highest scoring teams in transition and stuff like that?
Well, we're going to have to be a lot better in transition D than we've been. Arkansas is just going to blow the ball up the court against us if we don't. So we got to be better when we shoot it, having 1 and 2 back, being able to build a wall, protect the paint. Arkansas does a great job of getting to the rim and shooting threes in transition. They do a great job of sprinting to the three-point line. Jackson will shoot it in transition threes. Moody, like I said, shooting 41% transition threes. And so they've got a very, very, very loaded lineup. So we got to keep them out of transition and then give ourselves a chance to at least guard them in the half court, and then we got to block them out, which has been another big issue. They're a good offensive rebounding team.
Hey, Will, so Arkansas and you guys, LSU is, it's been one of the more high-powered matchups the last couple of years since you've been here. Just what has it been about, an Eric Musselman coach team that has really, kind of been, a little bit of a tough matchup for you guys, and why those games are always so close?
Yeah, well, it wasn't very close last year at their place. They beat the brakes off of us. I'll be honest, I spent a lot of time in the off-season studying Arkansas. I went back to him at Nevada. I felt like they got the best of us both times last year. Even though we split the games, we kind of had, we had a pretty good formula against Mike Anderson when he was at Arkansas. They beat us the one time here, but we had pretty good formula on what we were doing in there. And for whatever reason, Witt gave us major issues. But we spent a significant amount of time in the offseason. There was 2 teams in the league, Arkansas being one of them, I'm not going to tell you the other, that I thought gave us problems. That doesn't mean we got swept by them but we went 1-1 with Arkansas. But I felt like, they were ready for our tip play here. There's some different things. I felt like we were treading water a little bit against them. So we spent a week to 10 days in the offseason really trying to study them, study what they do, study some of his tendencies. Like I said, we went back to his Nevada teams and watched a bunch of Mountain West games, trying to give ourselves a better handle on things, because we can get mad at the players all we want, but I felt like in both of those games against Arkansas last year, I didn't do as good a job as I needed to preparing our team, and I thought they were a little bit better than us. we obviously won the home game, and like I said, got the break speed off of us at Bud Walton. But yeah, it's been a good matchup. He's a great coach. He's got older, experienced, good players, and their staff does a very, very good job in game prep.
Anything else? Oh, yeah, Bob.
Yeah, Will, in the game there in Baton Rouge, I'd have to look it up. You guys out-rebound. I mean, just annihilate them on the boards. I think you were plus 18 or something crazy. But they shot well and hung around and almost had a shot to win. But they're obviously a different team, better rebound team. What's your take on their rebounding?
Well, they're bigger. They're bigger. They're more physical. They're longer. They're gonna put bodies on. They're gonna put bodies on Imwani. They'll put bodies on Days. They're gonna do it. They've been a much better defensive rebounding team than they were last year. But I think they've certainly, it's an area that they wanted to shore up through recruiting and through transfers and that sort of thing. And I think they've addressed that, and their rebounding numbers are pretty good, and they're a tremendous offensive rebounding team.
And you guys, I think you had 3 players enter the draft last year and 3 pull out. Oh, obviously really good players. How big was that for the team this season to get all those guys back?
Well, it was good. They took the feedback, and a couple of them got feedback that made it, that they needed to come back, and then one of them, had a pretty tough decision, and they made the best decisions for themselves, and we're certainly pleased to have them back, because it's helped our team quite a bit.
Eric talked about you guys going 3 for 3 in the draft. They went 0 for 2, losing Joe and Jones, but he's so good at the portal. He's like the king of the transfer portal. Yeah. And what have you thought about how they've remade their roster? Because they got grad transfers, set-up transfers.
It's impressive. I mean, it's impressive what he does. I know they got the kid who tore his ACL, the big kid who set out last year, who was, did he tell his ACL, Bob? Or tore his...
They call him Baby. I can't hardly pronounce his name. He's a transfer from Stetson. Eric said he's probably about a month out.
Yeah, but I mean, I know he was a physical, talk about addressing their rebounding. Like, I know they brought him in to do that, but man, they do a great job of finding guys, and they got a good niche with the transfers. I mean, if you look at any transfer who's leaving, you look at their list. It's very rare Arkansas is not on the list, but it's very. I mean, it's and I don't know the intricacies of their program or how he does it, but it's obvious he's got it down to a science, because I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for this. But there's people taking mid and low major transfers and graduate transfers all over the country and not having the success that he's having with them. So he's getting the right guys. I don't think Coach Musselman gets nearly enough credit for their ability to sift through. I mean, if you did a research project on the amount of grad transfers and Tate's from Northern Kentucky, and obviously done a great job and adjusted well in the SEC. Well, there's 5 other grad transfers from their league that are at programs that aren't winning nearly as much at Arkansas, that aren't having the impact that Tate's having at Arkansas. And I mean, that to me is incredible, and kind of where his magic touch is, or he's got he's obviously got some formulas and some numbers, some stuff he runs where he has a pretty good idea what these guys are going to be able to do for him. I mean, you look at Note, who's playing, I think, 23 minutes a game, has a 35% usage rate in 23 minutes. But, I mean, he transferred from Jacksonville and the Atlantic Sun. I mean, how many Atlantic Sun transfers are there out there that don't even get off the bench on some of these mid and high major teams? And he's the 6th man, and he's basically a starter, and he's made an incredible impact. So like I said, I don't know exactly how they do it. I don't know exactly what they do, but they don't get nearly enough. It's just like, oh yeah, he takes transfers and they're good players. Well, damn. A lot of other people are taking transfers too and not winning nearly at the rate, and not hit. And I'm not saying they've hit on every one of them. I don't know every transfer they've gotten, but they're hitting at I mean, it's very interesting to me as somebody who studies all that. Like, they're hitting at 80 to 90% clip on solid SEC contributors and SEC, really good SEC players. Now, Smith's a little different. He was from Indiana, and Jackson was at New Mexico, and I think he's got a good sense of the Mountain West and how that would translate. I think Jackson started at UConn, if I'm not mistaken. And so, there's obviously, those are probably a little bit different, but to me, everything I heard, the kid from Stetson's really good. Note's been really good. Jalen Tate's been really good. Like they've hit on a lot of guys that most people, don't hit on, and they take the right ones and it works. And so to me, it's unbelievably impressive how he's built it and what he's done, and it's obviously not going to stop or slow down. That's a long answer to your question there, bud.
That's a good answer. He'll like that if he reads it.
Huh?
Yeah,
I have nothing but respect, man. It's incredible. He gets not near. Everybody just sits on those telecasts, says, he just gets the transfers and they win. Shit, everybody's getting transfers. Nobody's winning like that. I mean, and especially he's got it down to an exact science, in my opinion. And I mean, everyone he takes, you just got to assume it's going to pan out because he's batting an extremely, extremely high percentage. And it's a credit to him, his staff, his analytics people. Whatever he's got going on, they've got it figured out better than, in my opinion, anybody in college basketball. And he doesn't get half the credit he deserves for doing that.
Hey, Coach. Good morning. How are you?
Hey, Jacques. Hadn't seen you in a while. What's up, man?
Yeah, good to see you. I'll be bugging you more often, I guess. A bit of a different question now that we're still in football season. I'm just curious, as a guy who observes others or studies how to be great or looks at the success of others, Tom Brady and Drew Brees. I'm just curious your take, a coach and a guy who coaches younger people, as these two are going to play a game this week again. Just what your thoughts are on those two guys.
That's certainly that's a little different. I mean, they're winners. They're consummate professionals, from what I can observe. They're preparation. Any good player has great preparation in anything that they do, and I think those two are just so prepared, and it carries down. The quarterback's like your point guard. It carries down to the rest of the to the rest of the team and to the rest of the organization. I think those two embody that for obviously Brady now with Tampa Bay, but with New England, and then Brees with the Saints.
And they're both older than you are.
Oh wow!
Right?
Well, probably so. I don't know.
Thank you, Coach.
I was feeling pretty old when I was running this morning. It was so cold out.
Well, if
Where are you today, Cobble?
my house in the toy room here.
Yeah.
If Cam can't go, are you going to lean on Gaines again? And I guess just talk about having those kinds of options there.
Gaines, Cook, Andre Hyatt. We'll lean on those guys. Those guys have shown they can do it in different points of the season, and we got to have guys step up. I give Arkansas a ton of credit. They've been losing some guys and had some bodies down, but they've had different guys step up all the time. Like Davis stepped up against Georgia, and they've had some different guys step up. And so you got to have guys step up. You got to have guys ready to go. And so we don't, it's just next man up. We'll figure it out.
You have a new good problem with the way the Gaines played. Now you got to try to find a way to get that guy more minutes.
Who?
Eric?
I've been trying to get him more minutes all year. I know how good he is. I think you'll. Who was I talking to? Was it you, Kent? No, somebody told me. Oh, I was talking to Matt Laborde, our administrator. He said, "God, I finally got to see live what you've been telling me about Eric Gaines for 4 months." I said, "Well, thanks, Matt." We've been trying to get him, more minutes, and we've been trying to, try some guys out and figure it out. But, there's no doubt of his talent and how good he is, and we believe in him, and he, like I said, he's a huge part of what we got going on now. He's going to be a huge part of our future, and so we want to continue to get him opportunities.
Thank you, Will.
All right, see y'all.